Shalom. All praises, blessings, glories, and honors to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Double honors to my elder apostles and bishop elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, as well of men of like mind. Shalom wa chasad, which means peace and mercy to the elect of the nation of Israel, whom are so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelite foreigners of the seed line of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom are scattered here in America, which is Babylon the Great, and abroad. To you I say Shalom, beginning with the 144,000 prophets, and Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, willing, this lesson is edifying and informative. St. Matthew, chapter 24, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Verse 4. A time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. Verse 8. A time to love, and a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace. 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. In the news, the illegals, so-called, continue to flow and help to destroy America. The GOVT, simply government facilitated flood of illegals, is really starting to bear fruit for them, as rapes, killings, and robberies are becoming the new norm. Remember that phrase? America is being taken down from within. Not a new concept. Just here in the States, Americans believe a new guy standing at the podium will somehow stop this. You have been warned. Published by Jailbreak Overlander.
So obviously that gives the impression to the community and even parents out there who are sending students to your city to go to college. What do you say to that?
I appreciate the question. Thank you very much. I want to say that we center our work here in Athens, Clarke County, in people's humanity. And part of everybody's humanity is the expectation of human dignity. While 2019 was not that long ago, you might remember the dynamic we were living in the late teens in this country, where you had the President of the United States speaking in the most vile terms about people who were foreign born. And you had that notion metastasizing in places like Charlottesville.
This is an invasion. When I was younger, I was a criminal. And you know what I thought about doing? Crossing the border to Mexico to get away from my crimes.
Son, I'm going to ask you to leave.
Jesus Christ. Christ, he saved me, and I no longer live that lawless life, which you do.
Son, I'm going to ask you to leave.
You are lawless, Mr. Mayor.
I'll be glad to schedule some time with you if you'd like some individual time.
Yeah, I'd like to spend some time with you.
Let's do that, but I need to continue.
So you just heard it. Somehow the mayor is trying to deflect the fact that another illegal alien has killed somebody in Georgia, a college student, and he somehow tried to blame that on Donald Trump in 2019, which doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever at all. But the words the guy spoke, "This is an invasion," couldn't possibly be more correct whatsoever at all, because these people are entering here and they're being facilitated by your government. They're instantly being put on buses and then shipped clandestinely to all the big cities in the United States of America. And these people are some of the biggest scum of the earth that other countries are getting rid of. Numerous times you've heard these people, when they're questioned, saying they can't go back to their other country or they'll be killed. And everyone's like, oh my goodness, they're seeking asylum. Well, why will they be killed in their other country? Because they're rapists or murderers or something to that effect? You know what I mean? Because this just keeps on happening and happening and happening and happening over and over. And I put up a few videos and I've explained it to you several times. The powers that be, the people on this earth that control the people that you believe are your elected officials, are literally pulling off a plan right now to completely destabilize and destroy the United States of America. Remember the video I put up when I was talking about the show that Netflix that Barack and Michelle Obama are behind, called Leave the World Behind? And then what do you know? A few days later, cell phone coverage goes out. 3 large-scale cell phone companies all lose service in all the major cities in the United States on the West Coast, or from the middle of the country over to the West Coast, all lose service magically. And then all of a sudden, I mean, I've been watching the sky since I was 9 years old, and all of a sudden, this is what we're being warned of. When the eclipse comes, schedule errands and appointments early. Have communication plans with family and friends. Have cash on hand in case of limited internet access. Buy necessary groceries and gas. Expect heavy traffic and long lines for local services. What does that even mean? It's an eclipse. They happen quite frequently, and none of these things should be on the board whatsoever at all. But this sure is a beautiful, excellent, perfect excuse to completely pull the plug. Let me explain something to you. Teenagers, children, people of this country will completely lose their entire mind if they lose the internet, because the internet has been strategically tied into absolutely everything. Corporations own all the companies that provide you with goods and services throughout the United States, and that was also by design. And they can, at a whim, simply shut things down, because the corporations, the powers that be, and the political puppets that people think they elect are all playing on the same team. And guess what? We're on the other team. It's astonishing to me how people believe it's a conspiracy theory that really wealthy, powerful people want to dominate everybody on this earth. And they're pretty much done with that. Through genetically modified food, through fluoride in the water, through medications and pharmacia, and through the internet. They have basically turned Americans into complete blind, walking with their heads down sheep. Meanwhile, the country is getting invaded, and that invasion is being facilitated by the government. This is no joke. This is no, I don't even know what to call it. I don't know how else to explain it. It's happening directly in front of your eyes. I mean, how much more do people possibly need to understand that we are in a bad way? You know what I'm saying? Because when you tell people to do this, they call you a conspiracy theorist. But when you see it on the news, it's just no big deal. An eclipse causing all of these things? combined with this just occurring right after I warned you about this and after all of the warnings they have put out in the mainstream media. They've got people's eyes focused on Eagle Pass. I was at Eagle Pass. They've got it locked down. Nobody's coming in. But it hasn't stopped anything because they're still flooding in through New Mexico, Arizona, and specifically California. They're still coming and they're still being picked up in buses. Every place I go, I see buses. So as long as you're illegal, you're good to go. But if you're an American and you're homeless, well, too bad. You can live under a bridge right off of the interstate. This is in pretty much every major city and town. This is insane. In the last 10 years of traveling the country, I have never seen it this bad as in the last 2 years. The pandemic got the ball rolling, and the ball ain't stopping.
And it ain't gonna stop. And he's gonna keep rolling and rolling and rolling. And it's gonna become a even bigger ball of mess that will eventually get everybody in its path and caught up in it. So again, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 18. For because of their pride, this city shall be troubled. So because of the pride of the people who mix up these cities, thus cause them to be cities, shall be troubled, because they will be troubled by many great miseries, including the 4 kinds that the Lord will appoint over them during the evils, which means the bad times of Jacob's trouble to come. Many will die of grievous deaths, of pestilences, of diseases, and they're going to be left as dung upon the face of the earth. They will die by the sword to slay, the dogs to tear, the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy, according to Jeremiah 15 chapter. And nobody's going to be mourning for them. Men are going to be as women. And if men are going to be as women, how much more women that are currently still proud? And so, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid. People won't have anything else to lose, man. All these so-called homeless people and all these so-called immigrants and all that are coming to this land in masses, they're going to be invading the homes of the wealthy and the middle class, even the poor. It's going to become extremely lawless out here in this society, man. Again, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Watch movies like The Road, The Book of Eli, if you haven't seen it before. Bushwick. Hey, man, shit's going to get crazy. It's going to get real crazy out here, for real, man. 2nd Ezra chapter 8, again, verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in latter times shall dwell in the world. Many great miseries. Why? Because they have walked in great pride. And that's why DC is going to be troubled, because people have walked in great pride. And for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. And men won't care about the well-being of each other during those evils. Also, watch that documentary, How It Will Go Down. Hey, shit's about to get serious, man. This is Matthew 24, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, which is sin upon sin, right? Because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So it's going to be every man for himself in the near future. So get ready to see a lot of crazy shit happen this year, man. The hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying and informative, real short, straight to the point. Until the next Lord's willing. Shalom.